The tallest waterfall east of the Mississippi at 411 feet is Whitewater Falls. It's in a very remote area of western North Carolina, right near the border of South Carolina. I'm going to be going down Interstate 85 past the towns of Spartanburg, Greenville, South Carolina, and Clemson University, turning north at Lake Keowee through the town of Wahalia, where there's two brand new DC fast chargers that were just put in last month by Duke Energy underneath their park and plug program. Past that, I'll be hooking up with the scenic byway maintained by the Department of Transportation in North Carolina called Whitewater Way, which will take me to the waterfall trailhead. Really excited to do this, not only to see the waterfall, but also a nice relaxing road trip. Let's go. So this is pretty cool. They've rebranded the EVgo charging stations as Ultium at this location. That must have happened in just the past couple of weeks, because I was by here, I think 2 weeks ago, and those weren't on there yet. I'm at an EVgo station kind of topping off before I head off into the mountains, and my wife normally drives the Cadillac Lyriq, but she's out of town, and given the choice between the two cars, I chose this. In the words of Ferris Bueller, I mean, why not, right? Cadillac is definitely a much nicer car than the Volvo. I wouldn't say much nicer, but it is nicer. It has Super Cruise, which is super cool. Two different things. The first one is that if you're using the adaptive cruise control and you are approaching a vehicle that's going slower than the speed that you have set, Super Cruise will change lanes like this. Also, if you're cruising down the road and you just want to change lanes for some reason, then you have Super Cruise enabled. You put on the turn signal and Super Cruise will take care of changing lanes for you. And it looks like this. Since I don't normally take the Cadillac Lyriq out on EV road trips into charging deserts, I'll give you a quick walk around the Lyriq. It's got 22-inch alloy wheels, which was one of the upgrades. It's in stellar black. This is what the interior driver's seat looks like. Super comfortable, heated and cooled seats. Very roomy. It's bigger than the Model Y or the Volvo XC40 Recharge. I got this cooler, which is an electric cooler, because I was finding with the other coolers that I was bringing, the ice would melt and would start to seep through the bottom of the cooler. And this one is electric, so you just put your food and drinks in there, and they stay cold using this little element. So that's definitely an upgrade for me. I do enough road trips where it makes sense. And there's kind of a wide shot of the Lyriq. I don't know how that's not a station wagon, but they call it a crossover SUV. But I don't know, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and to me that's a station wagon. Here's the main instrument cluster set in energy mode on the Cadillac Lyriq. Provides how many kilowatts you're currently either generating as a result of a regen braking going downhill or consuming as you're going uphill. Also, how many estimated miles you have. One thing I've noticed with the Lyriq having heated seats and cooled seats, you can turn off the environment, and I'm finding myself very comfortable just using the seat temperature controllers instead of using the cabin environment, which is a big boost to efficiency. So I have to say that I'm really impressed with this Super Cruise. With the Tesla Model 3, one of the things that Tesla owners will commonly complain of is something called phantom braking. And the adaptive cruise control in the Model 3, we didn't have full self-driving, but we had adaptive cruise control, it works good, but boy, this Super Cruise is just all hands off. They LiDAR map certain common corridors, and once it takes over, it'll change lanes for you, and it'll just keep going. You don't have to keep touching the steering wheel or anything. It's got a little IR camera that's looking at your face, making sure you're looking at the road. Like right now, there's a cluster of cars coming, and Super Cruise is moving me over to the next lane without me doing anything. No intervention whatsoever. This thing is awesome. Really impressed. This is the town of Gaffney, South Carolina, which has a peach growing industry to some extent. And they made the water tower shaped like a peach, and it's become known as the Peachoid. It's the halfway point between Charlotte, North Carolina, and Greenville, South Carolina. Kind of a local favorite place to make fun of. Kind of looks like a butt. The Whitewater Falls viewing area is maintained by the United States Forestry Service. A lot of the lands out here in the hard-to-reach areas of western North Carolina are maintained by the Forestry Service. Just wide open forest, nothing much about it. Some logging trails and things like that. Before I head down the path to the viewing area, we're gonna get some lunch. I'm pretty hungry.
May mo tayo. Sorry.